Hey guys, Chris Freeman here with a little weekly Q&A I'm going to start doing. I've been getting some questions from blog followers on chrisfreemanpt.com, and I've had some emails. This first question is from a guy named Brad. Young guy, he's 28, 5'7", or 5'8", 127, something like that. So he's a thinner guy, and his question is, how can he gain weight? He said he recently got sick and lost about 15 pounds, which is real common. If you get sick, something like mono, you can lose weight like that. And a lot of people will be like, "Wow, that's great that he's had a weight loss," or he must be very fortunate to have a fast metabolism and be that thin. And if you've ever tried to gain weight, and I'm not talking gain body fat, I'm talking gain muscular body weight, and you're a thinner person with a fast metabolism, in my opinion, it's much harder than if you're overweight or you have a high body fat percentage and you're just trying to cut body fat. It's much harder to gain lean body mass. So that goal, in my opinion, deserves respect and a good answer. So a couple things. You'll always hear people say, eat more food, which is exactly what you want to do. You have to eat more than you're eating now. You have to take in more calories than you're burning. That'd be number one. Number two is get on a good weightlifting program where you're using compound movements to stimulate muscular growth. The compound movements are also going to stimulate your endocrine system, so that you're producing more testosterone and growth hormone. So a weightlifting program, 2 to 4 days a week would be good. You don't want to do 5 or 6 days a week. I wouldn't do a body part split or anything like that. I would just stick with squats, deadlifts, bench press, overhead press, and power cleans. Keep your conditioning pretty minimal. Just maybe keep it to walking or pushing the prowler a couple times a week. But back to nutrition, eat more food. A couple ways you can do this. This is a short-term situation when you're looking at gaining a large amount of weight. Somebody that's 128 pounds, 127 pounds, your first goal would be to get, over 130, and the next goal would be 140, 150. And what I would recommend doing is something that I've done. My lowest body weight was 135. That was when I was at Bethesda Naval Hospital after I got injured. And I was kind of hovering for a long time around 160. And I'm 6'1", and that's really very skinny for a guy my height. Right now I'm a little over 220 and between 222 to 225, so I've gained a fair amount of weight. And how I did it, and I've also heard Brandon Lilly talk about this, is kind of eating whatever you need to get that weight up. And then once you make a 10-pound jump or so, say I would start with a 10-pound jump, try to maintain that weight, but eat cleaner. Okay, so say you might eat cheeseburgers. You might. This is all just speculation too, because you may not do well with dairy. If you don't do well with dairy, by all means don't drink milk. I don't. I drink chocolate lactate instead of chocolate milk because that is better for my digestive system. If a certain type of protein powder gives you gas and indigestion, it's much better for your system not to take in that protein powder. Try something different. So if any of the foods that I'm suggesting don't agree with you, it's going to be better to find an alternative solution. But you want starchier carbs, rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, white potatoes. You want lots of protein, eggs, ground beef, lots of fish, some chicken. Try bison, try some turkey, just for some different stuff. Try lamb too. Lambs are really good. Nice protein. It's got a lot of flavor to it. But you should have a protein at every meal or snack. Try to eat, I would say, try to eat 5 times a day plus, maybe even 7. Some people like to eat 4 large meals a day. Some people like to eat smaller meals and they'll eat 5 or 7 of them. So it really just depends on your schedule and what's more practical for you. I've also done where I'm eating 3 or 4 larger meals a day. Seems to work well for me. But generally, the more you eat early on in the day, eat first thing in the morning, eat before you go to bed, and then eat in between. You want to eat as many times as you can during the period that you're awake. That would be my suggestion. At this stage in the game, you've got a lot of muscular body weight that you want to put on. Don't take pizzas off the table. You don't have to get crazy with the bad food, but I'd be eating that stuff a few times a week until you start to see the scale going up a little bit. What I would also recommend is getting a body composition done so that you know where your body fat's at, where your lean body mass is, so that you can make sure that you're gaining muscular body weight and not just body fat. Because it's easy to gain body fat, it's harder to gain muscle with that. So if the weight gain for you is going to be a short-term situation, don't be afraid to eat some dirty foods. get that 10 pounds up and then try to hover there for a little while, cleaning up your diet with some cleaner starches like some brown rice and white rice instead of just eating pizzas all the time. Make sure you're getting some healthy fats too, grass-fed butter. The Kerrygo butter is really good. A lot of calories and fats too, so don't discount the fats. Olive oil, a really big fan of coconut oil. Something I even put in my coffee called the Modified Bulletproof Coffee Recipe. What else? Lots of trail mix. It's really calorie dense. A small bag can have as many as 2,000 calories in a small bag of trail mix, and you could try to do half of that or a whole bag in a day. But just slowly ramp your food up. You don't have to stuff yourself till you're sick or till you're blue in the face immediately. But what I would do is try to set eating PRs on a daily basis and a weekly basis. Try to, if you know that you eat 3 eggs in the morning for breakfast and you have, say, a bowl of steel cut oatmeal with that and some strawberries, try to, add 3 eggs and an egg white, and then, maybe add a little bit more oatmeal. And then after a few days or a week, do 4 eggs and then add a little bit more oatmeal and maybe add some more fat to it. So just kind of creep up your calorie content, creep that up, and just slowly over time, you want to be eating more food. I've also used the daily, what's the name of the app? It's a meal plan app. It's called the Daily something. But there's lots of different apps that you can use to track, type whatever food you ate, and then it'll give you spit out the calorie content. The Daily Burn. The Daily Burn is a really good app if you just want to keep track of your calories and make sure that you're taking in more food. Okay, so good weightlifting program, eat a lot of food. Those are the top 2 things that are going to help you. If you need guidance on a program, Starting Strength is a very good base building program with your basic lifts. Windler 5-1 I would also suggest because there's a lot of good volume in there. Submaximal weight training is going to be very good for putting on muscle, muscular hypertrophy, and but don't be afraid to go heavy either. As your technique gets better and as you get stronger. So hopefully that answers your question, Brad. And if you guys have any more questions, you can shoot me an email at chrisfreeman5@gmail.com. You can contact me on the Chris Freeman Personal Trainer Facebook page. You're also welcome to leave a comment on my blog, www.chrisfreemanpt.com. Chris is spelled with a K-R-I-S. All right, guys, take care.